So we're here with Parks and Rec, or Parks.
Yes.
So, how do you feel the games have been going tonight?
That was fun. That was good. The first game was really tough. We played against the Beavers, and they have a rookie jammer this year, Hermione Danger, and she was so solid. She's so stable. It was so hard to get her down. And then little Justicles has played for a few years. She's a good, fast little jammer.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
This is my first Derby game, and just hearing, like, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I'm just hearing Hermione Danger, just seeing like all these like kick-ass women.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool. I mean, how would you describe Derby to somebody like myself who has never been to a game but have been debating going?
Right. Well, it's a sport again with two teams, and they're each trying to score points against each other. So just learning the basics is usually sort of helps get you into it. But yeah, I like to talk about, it's kind of like football on skates or chess on skates. Yeah. There's a lot of pushing and there's a lot of muscle involved because and then we're hitting like hockey players hit, but we're on 8 wheels and cement instead of a nice blade on ice. So it makes a really big difference in terms of the types of hits that you can do, and so it's a really unique game.
What made you want to be a Derby player?
I just wanted to get in better shape, and I wanted a sport that had training involved and coaching and deliberate steps where you can improve rather than just the rec league kind of run around and don't really have any set plays. So we have coaches and trainers and we take it really seriously. And then there's a big sense of community within the sport as well. So you make 100 new friends when you join the club. So that part's really nice too. And even when you have a lot of decisions to make in the club to keep it running, sometimes it's hard to make decisions, and sometimes feelings do get hurt, but we always keep it totally just Derby on the track. It's no big deal. We're all friends, even if we don't always agree. So it's really great, and it teaches you how to deal with people that are totally different from you, but you have to get along because we're building this really great thing in the city. We have really big crowds in Regina. I don't know if people realize that, but I've played in Saskatoon, Rocanville, I've played in Calgary, and we get way bigger crowds, and our crowds understand the sport too, which is really, really fun. And then we get to do stuff like tonight, our second game, we played against the Bombshells, and we had like a double overtime, and we won at the end, and it was so crazy and awesome. So the sport has only been around in its current form for maybe 10 years, so it's still kind of evolving and changing, and we're always dealing with slightly new rule sets, so there's lots to keep engaged with too.
How accessible would you say the game is to newcomers?
It's pretty accessible. We don't charge a lot in fees. It's $20 a month in fees. It's just your equipment costs a bit, but once you've spent some money on equipment, you're good to go. New skaters will find that they need to skate 2 or 3 times a week to learn, and then you have your committee work as well. So there is actually a pretty big time commitment, but if you're really dedicated, you can work around that for sure. And we have lots of students who, like Hermione Danger and Casey Crusher students, so they work hard and get it done too. Yeah.
So for this season, how would you say it's been going so far?
Great, yeah, it's been a good season. We've had lots of fans and really appreciative fans, and I think the double overtime tonight was really fun. So I hope that they were pretty into that. We did have an injury tonight. Nickel and dime hurt her knee. That's a part of Derby as well. It's rare that we get through a game where somebody isn't crawling off the track, and so it kind of adds excitement to everything, but then also now she's going to have an injury to rehab, so it's hardcore, and it's fun though. I mean, you learn all of the stuff to stay safe, and then sometimes stuff happens, injuries happen anywhere, so yeah.
It's really interesting how this sport has kind of evolved like into the big community that it is too, because people will have this like negative opinion of women and how they can't do sports, and then they see them play this awesome game. Yeah. So for it to be a huge community of women, how does that make you feel?
It's good. It's nice. There are men who play Derby. There are male Derby leagues, and there are friends too. But it is still primarily a women's sport, and a lot of people are quite happy to keep it that way. So there's an interesting amount of gender politics involved in Derby as well, especially with transgendered individuals. Somebody who identifies as a woman should be allowed to play Derby, but not all leagues will necessarily allow that. And we're working on our gender policy right now. And I think generally our league would like to make sure that we allow anybody who wants to play derby to play. So, you know, I'm kind of a nerd. I really like the intellectual gender politics part of it too. A lot of our refs are men, but some are women. So it's sort of weird sometimes to have men telling women what to do on the track. It's not necessarily bad, but it's interesting, and there's always lots going on and lots to talk about in the club too. But we've got some really good refs who let us play the game and don't, you know, because refs, there's always politics around refereeing no matter what in the sport, right? So, and yeah, we have a lot of good conversations about it sometimes, so yeah.
That's good. And as well you should, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there needs to be like that positive dynamic as well.
And we are generally really good friends with our refs. I mean, they skate with us. We know them, they're our friends. They're, you know, some of them are boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. So it's really positive and welcoming and open to anybody, whether you're super loud and aggressive or you're really quiet and shy. Yeah. Our junior league is from 7 to 17, and you know, a lot of them are kind of about 14, 15, and us seniors joke that we're all quitting derby in a few years when they graduate to 18, because they're really good skaters. They skate the same plays that we do. They hit. You know, it's really crazy. The bigger girls, like the taller girls, the stronger girls, won't lay out the littler girls, but everybody of all ages and sizes all plays together, and so they're learning teamwork and they're becoming amazing athletes. You really have to be in incredible shape to do derby, and like you develop your muscle tone underneath first and your cardio, and so it's just a really tough sport. So I'm really glad to see those girls kicking butt at it, and they're their little sisters. Like legitimately, Pile of Bones Derby Club fans are really dedicated, and they really know the game. Like when somebody gets lead jam, they cheer. Last year I played in Weyburn, somebody got lead jam, the crowd didn't even know what was going on. So like, no disrespect, I mean it was great, they had a good crowd, but it changes the atmosphere when the crowd really knows what's happening too, because we get pumped on the bench, they get pumped. We really feed off of each other.